Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Y2K collector. And as I was sitting here sorting out some games in my collection, it looks like a mess in here because I have to reorganize after taking out my Sega Saturn. But I got a little knock at the door. And if you all remember, I had mentioned that I was going to have a few bangers coming in this week. Well, one finally touched down on my doorstep, and it was this extremely clean copy of Shatterhand for the NES. Now, I know that the Nintendo Entertainment System is entering like that Atari phase. I think a lot of the younger generation is starting to look at NES games the same way my generation probably looks at Atari games. And for the most part, I don't think NES games are really that appealing, right? Even to retro collectors. Now I know I can't remember the name of these guys, but they're out in Southern California. Can't remember their names right now, but they're like huge on the NES. I think right now they're doing like a NES like challenge. They're trying to complete a set or something like that. But even with most like a lot of your bigger YouTubers, when you think about whoever think about your biggest like retro video game YouTubers are, most of them aren't really talking about the NES because I don't think there's that appeal for NES games. I, on the other hand, and I used to feel the same way actually. I remember back when I was like collecting heavy, I used to just run into really good NES games, but because I wasn't like collecting for the NES, I would just either toss them aside or I would buy them and just like frivolously sell them, not really realizing what I had. And a lot of times they were in really, really good condition. It's just I didn't care about the NES. Well, recently I've kind of been wanting to add to my NES collection. And I'm realizing that games that came out later in the NES's lifespan are some of the better games, both graphically, musically, and gameplay wise. What you're looking at here is a copy of Shatterhand. This game actually came out in 1991. So it came out during the transition into the 16-bit era of video games, that Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis era, where companies started making more of the sprites in video games and really just started maximizing the hardware on a lot of these systems. And so you can see that in Shatterhand, especially when you compare it to some of like the earlier games that came out on the NES. I have some NES games that look like, calculator games. But Shatterhand is actually just, you can tell that it's like one step away from the next generation of sprite-based gaming. And this is just an awesome Metroidvania style beat 'em up that just has some really cool elements, really cool weapons and power ups, and really great music, man. Just really great music on this game. I'm stoked because this game, price charting, I think has this game at like $82. When I look it up online, I usually see the listings go between like 85 for like cartridges that are in like, maybe 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 condition. And then if you have a really good cart, I'm seeing those around $90 to $100 or so. I also see a lot of these listed with like the manual and stuff, which I don't think a lot of people care about. I got this for well under price charting, from like a antique place, like an antique shop that sells like lamps and like vintage t-shirts and stuff. They don't really have a large video game selection. And I'm wondering if that's why this copy is in like such like good condition. A lot of my NES games have like a lot of yellowing on them, and this copy here, it actually didn't. Now, this is a fun game. I actually popped this in and started playing it, and I just intended to test it. But I know a game is good when I just like put it in to test it, but then I'm like trying to beat the levels and like get the power-ups and stuff. And this is a very fun game. There's something like really awesome about the simplicity of an NES controller, like only having two buttons to push. I don't know why, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know if it subconsciously makes the game more fun to me. But I mean, even looking at the back of the cart, I just gave this like a quick wipe down. I mean, this cart was so daggone clean that I got nervous when I took it out the box because I thought like, or I took it out the wrapper because I thought like, man, this might be fake. Look how clean it is. But I did take the screws out, look at the motherboard, and this thing is like genuine. It's a genuine copy of Shatterhand for the NES, and even the inside looks like it's never been opened. It did come with the sleeve, and the sleeve also looks like super clean. So I'm really stoked to have this in the collection. I'm really glad that I was able to find this and add it in there. I did get it online, so I didn't find it in a store, but the store that I got it from, they sell more like antique stuff, and I made them an offer and they accepted. So um, it had been there for a while, and this isn't really like a game that I hear a lot of people talk about. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone, like any of like the normal YouTubers I watch, talk about Shatterhand. But for those of you who do know about it and have played it, then you'll know that this is a classic right here, and definitely one you'll want to try out. I tried, I need to get like a stand for my phone so that like when I do these on the fly videos, I can like set it down and like, give everybody a sneak peek of the gameplay. But perhaps when I come out with the video for this weekend, I'll include some gameplay of this game because this is a really cool, really fun game. And it's just another addition to my NES collection. The last game that I picked up for the last two games that I picked up for the NES that were like nearly as good as this were Shadow of the Ninja and Silver Surfer. So there are some sick ones, man. And they're all not expensive. I just picked up a copy of Batman, the video game, on the NES, and Batman 2 is a really dope game. Like it's a really, really cool game. When you think about companies like Jelco and like Sunsoft and like Natsume, those were like the leaders back in the day. Like Natsume, Jelco, Sunsoft, Konami, Capcom, Square. Those were the companies that produced like some top tier like quality games. And if you're looking for a good one, this is one that you should definitely check out. Um, yeah, so I just wanted to take a quick moment just to kind of show you this one here and also respond to a comment that I just saw on my channel about someone who just they said they just ordered a game from GameStop, a retro game from GameStop, and the game that they got was fake. And they said what was even worse was that they turned around and tried to take the game back to GameStop, but because the employee at the store couldn't tell a fake game from a real one, they were giving him a hard time. I can't remember if he was able to get his money back or if he was able to issue a refund, but yeah, man, you got to be careful with GameStop. I've had a lot of luck from them during their last buy two get one. So, I can't really complain. I can't dog them. I was giving them a really hard time. I was giving GameStop a lot of crap in my videos a couple months ago. But between the buy two get one promo and then the 4 for 20, four under 20 for 40 promo, they made up for some of that. So just be careful when you're getting stuff from GameStop. And there are, I guess, some deals to be made out there, but for me personally, it's not worth me driving around looking for games because the money and time that I'll spend driving around, I could have just put into getting a quality game. So Shatterhand on the NES, if you've never heard of this, as soon as this video is over, you can just punch it in YouTube and you'll be able to see some gameplay footage. But this is a sick one. I'm going to put this phone down so I can see if I can get through level 1 again. It's the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you're having a great day. Tomorrow's Friday. We're one day away from the weekend. Thank God. And what was I going to say? Yeah, tonight is the night. Denver could be once again on their way to the Western Conference Finals. We'll see if Anthony Edwards can live up to the Jordan hype he's been getting, and see what happens. So game should be coming on tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard. I guess that would be 5:30 out west in the Pacific. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on Shatterhand if you ever heard of this game. And also comment down below if you've bought any fake games from GameStop. Let me know about that too, because we got to keep each other informed. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.